JC, Bad Edit Pro, with a little video here called Backups Made Easy. We're going to talk about backing up data on your PC. Most of my videos are about audio, and if you're like me, you probably have a very large collection of music that's on your computer, or maybe you're into videos, maybe you have a lot of pictures, or maybe you're just worried about losing important documents. Now, let's talk a little bit about why you should back up. You'd be surprised at the number of people out there, both in business and at home, who don't back up their computers regularly, some not at all. Well, you should back up your machine because hard drives fail. Viruses and OS glitches can cause big-time data corruption. And if you have a backup current, it makes it a lot easier should you decide to reload your operating system or transfer data to a new computer. So that is very cool. Here's what you're going to need. We're talking about Windows PC machines, and the methods that I'm going to talk about apply to Windows 95, 98, 2000, and XP, Vista, and I'm sure that they will work fine in Windows 7 when that comes along. You'll need a USB hard drive that's big enough to hold all of your data. I recommend getting one that you can dedicate to this purpose and you're not going to use it for anything else. Makes it a more secure backup. You can also get another one and make 2 copies of all of your data, and then take that other one and take it somewhere else besides your house. Give it to a friend, your mom, your in-laws, whoever, and have them hang on to it in case there's a flood or a fire and you lose all of your stuff locally. You'll still have your data. Depends on how paranoid you are. You'll need a copy of the Xxcopy utility installed on your PC, and that is the engine by which that's the engine that drives the backup program that I've written, or the script file that I've written. You'll need a basic understanding of Windows batch files, also known as script files, and they are basically text files that hold a bunch of commands. So first of all, let's go and take a look at the Xxcopy website and talk a little bit about the program, because it is so important to what we're talking about. The Xxcopy program is a freeware utility. There are 2 versions. There is a Pro version. The commands that I'm going to show you in my batch file work fine with the freeware version. There are no nags, and once you install this, you'll be good to go. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. So what are you going to get if you install Xxcopy? Well, you're not going to get anything that you can click on your desktop. As a matter of fact, Xxcopy is a command line program. So it operates from a command line or a batch file. And here is the help file for Xxcopy. You can print this, hold it off to the side, and it'll help you as you write your batch file to get it to do what you want it to do. So let's look at the batch file here. This is the one that I have written for my system, and it lives on my desktop, and all I have to do is click this once a week with all the hard drives fired up, and as you can see, it goes through and it makes cloned copies of the folders that I tell it to. So here on line 1, Xxcopy is copying the Documents and Settings folder in C, and then it goes to Joe, which is my account, and the My Documents folder, moves it to Documents, Joe, Documents on the Z drive. Now the reason why I designate my backup drive as drive Z is because I don't want it to change if I should plug in any removable drives like flash drives, cameras, SD card readers, that sort of thing. That way, whenever I plug that particular drive into the computer, it automatically knows it's Z, and this file works without a hitch. Once it does its backup, I have it run a command line defrag, and it has the switch on it that forces a defrag, even if the drive is too full to be defragmented. The reason why the defrags are here in this batch file is simple. It's because not only will it defrag the drives, which is a good thing to do, but it also forces the system to write everything to the backup drive when it is defragged that is in the cache. So I can go ahead and turn that off, shut down the computer. I'm not afraid of losing any data. And as you can see, the program says backup complete and pause. And I'm not going to go through the commands and what they do, because that information is readily available both for the batch commands, and it's available for the Xxcopy utility. All of that is online. So let's go ahead and run the utility so you can see it in operation. One of the things that I do, I'll show you this very quickly before we do that, is that when I'm having it copy folders off of, this is going to copy the entire hard drive, I have the program pointing to a single directory on that drive. Everything on this drive besides this temporary folder, which of course is temporary and doesn't matter, is stored under one directory on the root directory of the hard drive, which makes writing the backup utility quite easy, because all it has to do at that point is to copy that one directory, and all of the data in the drive goes over. So that's something to think about when you're getting ready to write your backup script. Now, we're running the program now, and we're watching it back up from the drive. As a matter of fact, it's currently backing up the last take of this video that I tried to make and ran a little bit long. So that's what it's doing right now. It's working in the work folder on my desktop. So as you can see, it goes through the different folders that I assign. The beauty of this particular program is that when you run it in clone mode, what it does is try to make the two directories, the master and the mirrored directory on the backup drive, exactly the same. So anything new that's been added to the master directory since the last backup is copied, anything that's changed is replaced, and anything that was deleted in the master directory is automatically deleted in the mirrored directory. So when the backup is complete, you have an exact copy of the original directory. And the directories are not stored in one large file or in any encryption like some professional or rather commercial backup programs do. And that way you can take that drive and access those files at any time from any computer. So now it's in its defrag sequence right now. We're going to go ahead and stop it because it'll go through all the drives and do its defrag. I'll turn that on later and let it finish. But for now we can go ahead and shut that down. So anyway, JC, Bad Edit Pro. Hopefully this turns you on to a very cool little utility and a very down and dirty and reliable way to make sure that all of your precious data is backed up should your hard drives fail. I don't recommend trying to back up system directories or operating system directories, as they take up a lot of space. There's a lot of changes within those directories, and as long as you take your applications and back them up in your My Documents folder or in a separate folder on the drive that you tell it to back up, reloading your computer shouldn't take too long at all. Of course, that's entirely up to you. Xxcopy will allow you to copy entire hard drives if you want to, or select folders. It's very versatile. So anyway, JC, waving bye-bye. Thanks for watching.